All right, folks. It's basically 6 in the morning. We are downstairs making a coffee. We're just waking up, just getting going. And I was thinking, whilst I'm sat here at my laptop screen, I was going to write a Gears Tactics review, but I need to get that game finished really before I actually go ahead and review it. But I was thinking with Gears of War, everyone. I'll try to keep this short. Everyone seems to talk about Gears of War, and they always seem to say like, "Oh, it's if me myself included. Let's fix the net code. If the net code was fixed, it'd be great. If there was more guns or different coloured guns or more characters or more maps, it'd be great." And I've always thought like, if you perfected Gears 1, you'd be in a good way. And when I say perfect, I mean, modernize it. If you want to put a wall cancelling, put a bit of a wall cancelling, but don't overdo it. If you want to make rifle play more prominent for the average player, because in fairness, it wasn't really that prominent for Gears 1, unless you were playing competitive, then, you could do that. But everyone always considers like, let's do the cover, let's sort of, it's all like the basics, isn't it? The maps, the characters, the skins, the campaign and stuff. But for me, like the two biggest things that suck about Gears that probably should have been fixed this whole time is the tutorials. They're absolutely non-existent. They don't introduce any player on actually how to play the game. They might teach you how to hold a weapon or point it and shoot like any game does. But we're coming from, it's 2021 almost. This is a 2006 game that has basically 2006 levels of introduction. Like Escape wasn't really that Escape wasn't really that well explained. The cards aren't really that well explained. Some cards do certain things when they shouldn't. Like active hammer burst can affect active sniper and all this weird stuff. And it wasn't really explained exactly what Escape is. It kind of just threw you in there. You played it on beginner, ran to the end, and you were like, is that it? And then people probably didn't ever play it on a harder difficulty. The boot camp, when you first load up the boot camp, your controls are inverted. And my head's just like, how many people play on inverted? And why is that like why is their very first experience do you get when you go in the game like a jarring one, like, wait, why is my camera not controlling? So you've got that, which is annoying. They don't introduce you to the franchise in any way. They don't, and if they do, they're like, take cover, aim your gun, and it's like nobody plays like that. So then when people do these tutorials or play the game and they go through the campaign and it's very rigid, and then they come into online, it's so jarring. Everyone's zipping about, and I don't understand why they haven't done anything about that for years and years and years. I've thought like, bro, you're trying to make the game more popular and you're trying to make it more casual. I don't even mean casual in like a negative way, but you're trying to make the barrier to entry a bit easier because it's a third-person shooter. Before Game Pass, it had a cost entry, and also on top, it's not just a third-person shooter; it's a cover system as well. So there's loads of barriers to entry. So they're trying to casualize it, or when I say casualize, I mean make it easy to jump into. Yet the tutorials absolutely suck, man. Absolutely suck. And then as well, I was thinking, everyone talks about the mechanics of the game, myself included. Oh, shall we fix the aim assist? Shall we fix the long shot damage? It doesn't feel like a power weapon anymore. The turbo charges too quick. All these little things, right? Everyone talks about all these little things. But it's like, for me, even if you perfected all of that, the overall theme of the game is like, it's 2006, man. It feels dated. It really, like when I come on Gears, I was thinking about this like the other night. I've been enjoying it a bit more recently. I've got a few gameplays coming up, and you know me, I don't really ever post gameplays or clips. So when I do that, I've normally been enjoying the game, and it's like, it's very strange. It's very strange. It's very strange that since 2006, the game has remained relatively similar. There's been changes here and there, but it's just kind of gradually got worse on top of feeling dated. And when I say feeling dated, like, the cover system at first was so cool. Like, you came in 2006 and it was a really cool thing. You were like, whoa, like, I can take cover, I can duck, I can swap turn, all of this stuff. It was amazing. Very few games actually still do that nowadays, which is a shame. I like a good cover system. But, like, even if they were to do, even if it was a new game to come out with the same cover system, you'd be like, I've been there, done that. And a lot of people, I feel like, with Gears are like, I've been there, I've done that, and it's a bit boring now. Like, when you mantle somebody, there's like this jarring moment where you like counter them, and then like I counter them, so I've done the counter, but I stand still. And I get punished for countering. Like, you're in a 2v1 and you counter somebody. Should be like a fluid motion, like you counter, turn at the same time. Maybe that's where you get your speed boost. You counter, get a speed boost so the second guy can't shoot you and you take a 2v1. That's a cool moment. An up-A speed boost, not a cool moment. And it's like, yeah, the cover system since 2006 is literally the same. There's been no development on it. Absolutely, like, zero development. And the development they have done is just weird. Like, this is side note, but like, weird developments like, oh, let's put the chainsaw button on the same button as reload. I'd love to know the discussion that went on in the office. Like, yeah, we're going to put the chainsaw on a new button. Which button should we put it on the reload? And someone tries to reload and like revs the chainsaw and then gets stunned and then jams the gun. How does that even get past testing? So I'm trying to do these little shorter videos because not everybody has 55 minutes to listen to me ramble, and a lot of my good points that I do mention, like in the last video where I discussed with a forum user about why I think the game, why I think people wall bounce and do all of this, I think is because people feel like the game has such little skill, it's so unmemorable, it's just gib or be gibbed in a bit of lancering, that people start to do the fancy movement to spice it up for themselves, whereas Gears used to be spicy in itself. Like, the cover system, the movement, it all felt so fresh. 14, 15 years later, it feels dated. I'd like them to, you know what they should do, rather than just like, quote, nerf lancers, they should promote close quarter battles with like a much updated, renovated combat system. That's what they should do. There should be some counter moves. There should be some dueling opportunities. I'm not talking like, I'm going to say a bad example, but like For Honor. For Honor would be a cool example of like close quarter fighting. But yeah, this game has like, it's just swap turn, up-A. You can do a bit of a roll, and that was cool in 2016. But I really wonder, like, with 14 years of development into a cover system, we could have had something really unique. Where, and again, bad example, throwing it off the top of my head, but it could have been like, if you run in and melee somebody, you get a health boost or a speed boost, or your next bullet is supercharged. And I know people are going to go, what are you talking about, Z? But these are drastic ideas that obviously you wouldn't put in the game. But what I mean is, you can promote close quarter combat in different ways other than actually nerfing ranged combat. You can promote close quarter combat. And I feel like Gears of War, at the beginning, it promoted like a bit of rifling and a bit of like sitting cover and maybe pop out, and then it was a bit of tactical. Then people learned how to wall bounce, how to move, and then it got a bit closer. Two-piecing, like, I don't know if anyone remembers, like you would melee somebody down, or they would go down, and you would get full red. You'd curb stomp them, get a frame of invincibility. The person waiting for you to finish your curb stomp would panic, shoot too early. You'd survive, and then you'd blow him away. They got rid of that in Gears 2. So when you were chainsawing, when you were curb stomping, you were always vulnerable. So you couldn't do those actions as a safety measure. Like, if you were getting grenaded, you could curb stomp somebody, protect yourself. It was these little frames of invincibility. All of those things have gone now. You chainsaw somebody just runs up in the back and kills you before you've done the animation. So even though you're going to die anyway, it's kind of nice to see the animation in it. It rewards the player, it promotes getting up close. And the cover system really hasn't been touched upon, and when it does get touched upon, it's like, do the long vault. Like, why is there a fast climb? Why would you ever want to climb up slow? Like, when you're running, say, up District, and you want to climb up the middle area with the torque bone, you want to hop up the ramp. Why would you ever want to hop up slowly? So, you would only want to hop up slowly if you're already in cover, and then you slow climb. but it's such like a, yeah, it feels like 2006. And when I say like, oh, I like Gears of War 1, like that's not me going, oh, make the game like Gears of War 1, mate, it's brilliant. No, there's loads of things wrong with Gears of War 1, but it's like, it's it's a good foundation, but it's time to be built on. And when people say modernize, they get scared in Gears. People get scared, like, modernize? He's going to make it like COD. No, 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 I'm not saying make it like COD. I'm saying, like, look at the Doom executions. You know, I think they give you a time freeze or health or something. I haven't played the game, but visually they look awesome. And there's a reason for doing them. There's no reason to do an execution in Gears of War. So there's no reason to get close. Half the game modes don't even have execution rules because the developer said that the new players might get confused by shooting the guy that's down and hearing the noise. And it's like, what are we designing the game for here? So yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick 10-minute thing whilst I wait for my coffee to brew. And I would just see, what do you think about the cover system? I mean, it's cool, I like it, but I feel like that's one of the things that always feels like, it's just Gears. I feel like sometimes I hop on and I enjoy it, but I feel like I'm in this bubble and I'm like, bro, this game's so dated, man. Like, and when you see the new games doing new features like parachute, I'm not saying parachuting, but you know what I'm saying. When you see the new features, like you had like parachuting in PUBG, then Apex Legend locked your characters together so you all dropped at the same time. That's like an example of a good feature for a battle royale dropping out, but you got lost with your teammates, whereas Apex Legends locks you to your team. Little tweaks like that, like little modernizations that keep the game feeling the same, but modernize it. That's what they should work on. Not like a skin, not a character. You know, modernize it, man.